Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Trev's not with us tonight. It's myself and Andrew. We're going to host a nice show. We're going to talk about the just happened FA Cup draw, our fixture down at Portsmouth, and looking ahead to our game on Wednesday against Chelsea. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, Andrew. How are you? How are you keeping? You're on mute still, mate. You need to manually do that.
Who muted me?
No, it mutes you automatically with the music.
Trev's not here, so I thought I'd just carry on with the tradition of being on mute when I talk.
So, yeah. Fair enough.
Start off on a good way. I'm good, mate.
Yeah.
I'm very well. Just I think good. We've got through the third round draw and happy about that. And just we keep pushing, don't we? We're what's not to like at the moment about our great football club, top of the league, top of the Champions League, in the FA Cup, AFL semi-final. Doesn't get better than that, does it?
I was chatting to some guy today. He said, "I told you, Ferg, this is our year. All four of them. We're getting all four pots." I went, I got a bit nervous at that.
Imagine the part. I've already booked off the whole of May just in case we get two of them. So God knows what it'll be like if we get all four.
Well, I've got that 5 extra days rolled over into this year, so I think I'll be saving that. Yeah, saving
Last
some
time you'll be
holidays
doing
for
that,
May. Yeah, it was. We've got Wigan Athletic at home. If anybody hasn't seen in the FA Cup draw, the matches will be played Friday through Monday over Valentine's weekend. Just hoping the tickets will be a reasonable price, like 20 quid, 25 quid, but who knows?
Buy one, get your other half for one.
What's that?
Buy one, get your other half free. So Valentine's weekend.
Yeah. The full draw is here. So you got Liverpool or Barnsley, who are playing shortly against Brighton. Stoke versus Fulham, Oxford versus Sunderland, Southampton, Leicester City, Wrexham, Ipswich Town is quite an interesting one. Obviously, Arsenal, Wigan, Hull City, Chelsea, Burton Albion versus West Ham. They'll be playing them a bit more often next year, I think. Burnley, Mansfield Town, Norwich, West Brom, Port Vale, Bristol, Grimsby, Wolves, Aston Villa versus Newcastle. So that's one big scalp probably going to go out. Man City have got a bye, really, haven't they? Salford City or Swindon Town. And you got Macclesfield versus Brentford. They've got another Premier League team. Okay, it's probably similar to Palace, and they probably can do them. And then Birmingham Leeds. That looks like a battle and a half. Anything stand out to you, Andrew?
Yeah, there's a couple there, isn't there? I mean, I quite like the look. I don't fancy West Ham's chances going to Burton Albion. I mean, that's a tough place, a tough little place to go. And I think the way that West Ham are playing, Burton fancy that. So I think we might see an upset there. Mansfield beating Sheffield United and then go to Burnley again. There's another potential one there, another Premiership team. They could fall a cropper. But I mean, I'd love to see Man City versus Salford. I mean, that'd be great. And then Salford go and beat City. That'd be quality.
Arnie's getting ahead of himself and going as is Simon. They're going Barnsley through Brighton, and Alonso's been sacked at
Real Madrid. At
Real Madrid. So that would probably mean that Alonso would go to Liverpool, and I know from some Liverpool fans that's what they're looking at. So
if he does the same job he's done at Real Madrid, he can crack on.
Tim said because he fancies Stoke versus Fulham. You know what? I wouldn't have minded Stoke away. I was hoping for an away fixture with a big allocation. We got some extra away credits and some points and had a good jolly day out. Bristol appealed to me. Even Birmingham appealed to me as well. Or Leicester. Just some of the the bigger stadiums. But ideally, a stadium I haven't been to before. So I haven't been to Bristol. I haven't been to Barnsley. I've been to Stoke years ago. I've been to Oxford, Sunderland, Southampton, Leicester. Haven't been to Wrexham, but you wouldn't get a big allocation. I've been to Ipswich, Wigan years ago on my own. I went up there. Hull, I wouldn't mind Hull. Burton would have been funny because some of my friends are from up that way. Mansfield Town probably way too small. Norwich is a good city. You haven't been to the Hawthorns. I wouldn't have minded that. Port Vale have been, Bristol City haven't been, Grimsby haven't been, Salford or Swindon, that would have been okay. Macclesfield, way too small. I wouldn't have had a look in. You get probably about 700 tickets. And Birmingham City. So there was a few grounds I hadn't been to that I wouldn't have mind to go to. So yeah. So
I don't want to go back to Stoke again. Never again. God, that Tuesday, I think it was a Tuesday night we had in Stoke, and it was, I've never been so cold in my life. I just wanted to get out. It's the only time I've ever looked at the clock and thought 70 minutes, I'm out of here. Because it was, I've never been to a cold day.
Were you not cold on Thursday at the
you were all right. You were undercover.
I wasn't. Row 9 is not undercover, mate. I was dripping. My lovely coat I get via work, which is really warm and everything else. It triggers Andrew. It does trigger Andrew. I had rain just dripping down in front of me. It was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. So
it was unreal. That was I literally had the drips off the top of the stadium come down. It was just torrential. But it's been a while since I've been down again for Thursday, so it was great to be back and watching the boys, even though it was a 0-0. But it wasn't a boring 0-0, was it? So,
as many say it was. I thought the first half we were quite good. I know we done some of this the other day with on Friday with Trevor, but I thought we weren't too bad in the first half. I thought the way Liverpool had such a low block and then compacted the midfield, it made the second half a lot more difficult. And but it was the conditions were awful. The conditions weren't much better. Well, they were marginally better at Fratton Park on Sunday. They've got their. I know you didn't get a chance to come down, mate, but the stadium was a real old school stadium. It's really, really good and everything else.
Yeah.
But the bar area and everything else. Let's see if I've got any pictures. Did I keep any?
It's always, I must admit, it's one of those stadiums that, like, I thought, I'd love to go. And I was like, when you were saying about coming down to the ticket, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And I've sat there watching it, thinking and listening to the away end, because fair play to all you that travelled on Sunday. Wow, what a noise you made on TV! It was incredible, and you could hear nearly everything.
So can you see this area to the left? This white area to the left. That was up at the back of the away stand. It ran right across outside of view of that photograph. But there was like just a platform and a string of bars along it, and they served beer and everything else. It wasn't that deep, but there was no cover, and you're just standing up in the middle of the air with all the breeze coming in onto you. And that PJK drizzle he talks about, the one that gets you soaking.
Is that fine rain? It soaks you through.
It's the fine rain. Yeah,
it's that fine rain.
Absolutely drenched again. I turned around and people said, "This is twice in a week. We better bloody win and put a performance in this game." So yeah.
We did in the end.
We did in the end. Let's talk the game then. Let's talk lineups. So we had Kepa in goal, White, Norgard, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Eze Marino, Wanyeri, Madueke, Martinelli, and Jesus all starting. There's about 7 or 8 changes. I don't know if you count Madueke as a main change, but there was significant changes, but still a really strong side, Andrew.
Brilliant team. It's a really strong team to go out with. It made a statement, doesn't it? And I think that, again, I talk about this all the time after last year about the squad depth we've got now and the options that we've got. That just shows to me the ability of the team that we can put out, because let's go back 12 months. There's no way in a million years we'd have been able to put a team out like that. We'd have had, Jimmy Gower in there. We'd have had some of the academy players coming through, probably Max Dowman if he was there, to make a start if he wasn't injured. So, it's a massive difference. And again, you look at our bench, and I mean that scare any Premier League team, let mind a League One team.
Yeah, because the main boys were on the bench. We had the likes of Odegaard and
Rice.
Rice, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 2 minutes behind, though. 2 minutes into the game, we went behind to a Colby Bishop turned in a rebound. What did you think about that? Because I saw Kepa come out and clear the ball, and he made a good save.
Yeah,
but I haven't got no images or stills or video of it. But I watched it back at some of the clips. I haven't watched Match of the Day. I've watched some of the clips back on the train on the way back last night, and I thought Kepa should have done better.
Yeah, I do. He pushed. I said straight away when as soon as it hit the back in the end, I thought he's not going to like that. And it's sort of he pushed it straight into his feet. I mean, I thought he could have pushed it maybe around the post or pushed it further away. But he's pushed it straight into his feet, and he's taken it well. And I mean, that crowd is, I mean, I've been to Pompey before, not to watch Arsenal, and I was amazed by the noise they made. But I can just imagine how loud it was when when that ball at the back of the net, and kind of not really what you wanted to do was get them on the front foot. But at never point was I worried that we were going to lose that game with that team.
No, I think it was. Listen, it sounded a bit hypocritical. Not hypocritical. I can't remember. I'm putting them down a little by saying it was good for them to get an early goal because we had plenty of time to react and come back to it. And as you say, at no point was I ever really worried in any shape or form. Once they got that goal, we really did put the pressure on there afterwards. Ronnie in the chat says Kepa was poor overall. Go on.
I think the commentary said straight away, and as soon as it kicked off, and he said, "My only concern, it's a great start. My only concern, they've scored too early." And it's right. A few people said that it was just, it was too early in the game because we weren't even in flowing yet. We hadn't even had an opportunity to knock the ball around.
Yeah, and Simon again says, give them some credit. At least they had a go and they didn't sit back, and they didn't put a low block up against us. You mean they had a go, not sit back?
Yeah? Oh yeah, no, they had a go. Yeah, I mean they gave it more of a go than Liverpool did on Thursday night, didn't they? In the first half, let's be honest.
Our City did a few months back.
Yeah, exactly. And it was great to see. And they're not a bad team. They're really not a bad team. And it's. I mean, I think they're struggling for down the bottom, aren't they? Really, for relegation. You wonder. You watch them play on Sunday. You think, how? If they play like that every week, surely they'll be out of it quick.
Yeah, they're I think the 21st in the league. They're just above the relegation zone. They just came up last season, but they were. I spoke to a few Pompey fans that 5 of the first team players out. Probably about. They were threadbare in the squad. They did give us a go. They did give us a game, and it was good to see somebody actually trying to play football against us.
I was really impressed as well. I think he's their right back, Regan Poole. I mean, he threw himself into everything. He blocked everything. He did everything. And it's what opportunity have you got to mark Gabriel Jesus every game? So why not lift it and play? And there's some really good performances out there. So they certainly did well.
25 minutes of the game, set piece again, ole. Martinelli gets the first of what ends up being his first ever Arsenal hat trick. So first goal, and what did you make of the goal? The first goal, it relieved some of our tensions as well because with 21 minutes of being 1-0 down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we started knocking the ball around. We started looking, sort of. There's a couple of little misplaced passes here and there, but we looked like we were going to control the game, and it was going to come sooner or later. We had a couple of opportunities, and it's it's that corner, isn't it? Near post, flick it. I can't remember if it's the first or the third one he gets, but I think it's both actually. He's not actually looking at the ball when he heads it. He's literally just got his head on it, and he knows exactly where it's going. And it's just a cracking goal for him. I mean, after Thursday and the grief he's had over the weekend, I was really chuffed for him to get that goal, and I think he deserved it.
I was waiting for somebody to pick a ticket up. Henty, I met Henty up at the game.
It was meant to actually meet him on Thursday night. I've not, it's like literally the first time I've met him, and it was cracking. He was a good lad.
We managed to sort Henty out with a ticket through a friend of a friend and so on. So I was delighted he did. And I was just waiting to do that meetup. And while we were hanging around waiting and to get into the stadium and everything else, I noticed how cheap the burgers were. So I decided to have a burger. You know what? If anybody's looking on the weight loss jabs, just go to Portsmouth, get a burger. Honestly, I missed a penalty, put it that way. I was indisposed. They call it fast food. It was fast.
And that leaves a little to the imagination.
It does. Nonny's penalty. Let's talk about Nonny's penalty. So I didn't see the penalty be given. He won the penalty. So he took the penalty. A lot of people were saying, if you win the penalty, you don't take it. What's your thoughts?
Well, I haven't got any thoughts on it either way. I mean, really, to be fair, I mean, it's all I wanted to do is hit the back of the net. And when he got up and he was going to take it, there was no one else there that was going to take the ball from him. So I don't think he'll be taking another one for a while. Let's put it that way, because I don't get this run up. I don't get this run skip in it. We've seen players and games that have gone to penalty shootouts over the weekend, and I think I've seen a few of them where they've done this jump halfway through, and the only person I've ever seen pull that off with the way was Jorginho. Because I don't think I've ever seen him miss one, but it was just it's just poor. There's no other way of describing it, really. It was just really poor, and he didn't look like he was in control for the whole run up. And yeah, he knew. I mean, there's a Ronnie's just put in there. He misses, then smiles. I think he smiled because he knew he'd absolutely cocked it up, and he was going to be in a bit of grief because
I was thinking the exact same. Yeah,
you don't. That really could have come back to bite us, couldn't it? I mean, at 3-1 to go into half time, that game's over at 2-1. Pitches, it's chucking it down. The pitch is a bit slippy. Anything could have happened. So he'd have come to rue it if it's something would have, but luckily it didn't.
Just say good evening to my drinking partner from yesterday, Gav. Good to see you, mate. And I'll see you bright and breezy on Wednesday. So yeah, it was good. I just thought it was very sloppy. As you say, the run up he took was like a hop, skip, and a jump. The keeper has gone the wrong way. The keeper's well beaten. He's not keeper, but he doesn't just put his laces through it. He should have just, it was half a pass even. Again, I've only seen it quickly on a replay. It was just like a pass into the back of the net, around the post, and it's disappointing to see that quality. Other than that, I thought Noni had a really good game.
He did play well. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I love about him, and I think, again, Thursday night he came on, didn't he, for Saka, and, performed well, and he offers us something different. Just picks the ball up. He's got a few tricks. What I love about him, though, and it disproved it, and I've been waiting for it, is he drives into the penalty area, and he's always going to get us a penalty. He's going to get us a couple more this season by the way that he just gets past people, and people are going to do a clumsy tackle and take him down. So, it's going to happen again, but I thought he played really, really well, and he's going to push, isn't he? He's going to keep pushing Saka to make sure he stays on top of his game. It's going to take some to dislodge him, don't get me wrong, but should we fall into any issues, then we know we've got a more than suitable backup.
Yeah, for sure. We went into halftime then 2-1 up. Sorry, I've lost my notes here. Went into halftime 2-1 up.
We have notes.
We have notes. We always have notes. We have to have notes. I'm organised. I do this sort of stuff. Yeah,
best read them, Anna.
What's that? I just can't read them. Yeah, I just can't read them very well. That's all, and I get all the words mixed up. 50 minutes in, Jesus was a great cross, and it's the one goal that Arsenal have scored in open play in this game, because everything else does come from set pieces. Martinelli looked really good on that one. I was really impressed on the way he ran up, took on Jesus's cross. He does come to his best playing with Jesus. Do you think?
Yeah, he does. I think Jesus. I think he played. He did everything right again. I mean, it's probably a question for when we've reviewed this, but I thought Havertz came on and played well. Jesus has come on, scored a couple, and played well. What do we actually do with Gyökeres at some point? Because if he's not scoring, but he is doing stuff off. I mean, Arteta keeps praising him that he's doing stuff off the ball, but we'll probably cover that one later. But yeah, they are playing really, play well together. But they did that a while ago, didn't they? And they've just got this connection. But you can't take away as well the free kick from Skelly into Jesus, because he just took it quick and it was perfect. And they really took advantage of Portsmouth just being slow.
Yeah, no, for sure. Then we're 70 minutes into the game, 69 minutes into the game, and there's a triple substitution. Ben White, who's on a yellow, is taken off for Timber. I was surprised that we went that strong, bringing Timber on. Wanyeri, again, I was surprised. Maybe his fitness, match playing fitness, might have been in question.
He played well. He did well again.
I thought he was okay. Yeah. Was taken on for Odegaard, and Jesus brought on from Havertz, and I was glad to see Havertz get a start. Yeah, we'll talk on Havertz in a minute, but the other two substitutions, White for Timber nursing an injury, would you have risked him?
No, not a chance. I'd have left him. I think the only problem is he's going to take because do the EFL red cards count to the Premier League? So if
EFL are league, so yeah, those should count. FA Cup and Champions League are different.
That's the only reason I could think that he took him off is because he didn't want him, didn't want to run any problems. But again, we're talking about we've got a big squad now where we can look and we can bring somebody, we can manage players' minutes a lot better. We look at Noni and we look at Saka, we look at White and Timber, those players. And so yeah, sometimes I suppose we can sit here and scratch our heads and go, I'll be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that for? But we don't know the behind the scenes stuff of how, because it's so scientific now, isn't it? It's how many minutes these guys will play and what they'll do. But it was with. I didn't know Timber was nursing an injury, so I mean that's even more of a
Oh no,
surprise.
no, he'd come back from it. He'd been injured a few weeks
Oh, of
back.
course,
So
he missed Liverpool. Yeah,
yeah,
he did. Yeah, of course he did.
yeah,
Yeah, but again,
yeah,
it's minutes, isn't it? It's get some minutes in, and let's and build that fitness up for what we've got coming.
yeah. And what's Demsek? Ben has had a bad return from his injury record. Okay, okay, yeah. Wanyeri. Ronnie mentions about Wanyeri and saying, what about Wanyeri? He was great. I did think he had a good game. He didn't stand out for me hugely, but he didn't stand out for me for bad reasons either. You watched it on the telly a bit closer and you could see a bit more of how he was playing in that role, playing in his preferred role, the Odegaard role. And they swapped those two round. I must admit, when Odegaard came on and Timber and Havertz, the tempo went up again another level, probably because of fresher legs against a knackered Pompey. But would you have changed Wanyeri at that point?
I personally wouldn't. I'd have liked to have seen him play the 90 minutes. I know there's been all these rumours about potentially him going here, there, and sort of on loan, or we're never going to sell him.
We talked about that on the train on the way down. Sorry to over speak on you, but he's actually rejected the idea of a move on loan to Bournemouth. It was who they were talking about, and his comments were, "I learn more even at training at Arsenal than I will learn playing."
Wow. What a statement that is! I mean, that's just brilliant, isn't it? I mean, to be able to have that, to know that you're going to learn. But I mean, why would you? You're learning off, Noni Madueke. You move it. You're learning off Bukayo Saka. You're learning, you all these great players around you, and he will get his opportunities. He's just got to make sure he does take them when they come along. And again, we go back to this. It's a squad game. We've got a lot more coming up. We've got the EFL Cup. We've got the Champions League. We've got Premier League. We're in everything, so we're going to need our depth. And I thought he played really well. He got his head up, and just little bits of his game you can see he's starting to improve on. And the bit that I noticed was he had a bit of a Declan Rice touch. I think it was the end of the first half. You know how sort of Declan takes it on his back foot and pushes it forward into space. And there's a couple of bits, and he just kept doing it. And I thought, he is learning. You can see, and he is. But yeah, he had a really, really good performance, and it's just so quick, isn't he? He's crease lightning when he gets going, because no way anyone was keeping up with him.
Yeah, true. Simon makes a couple of good points on here because Havertz came on for Jesus, which is the first time this season we've had three fit forwards. So we've got Jesus, Gyökeres, and Havertz. So there will be a lot of rotation, I would have thought, going forward in other games. We do have to bear in mind, we're waxing lyrical about performances of players in this game, but our opposition as well were, nearly gone back down from the Championship into League One. But a game's a game. You only can play what's in front of you. And just look at what Crystal Palace did. They turned up with a mixed side of players, and they got knocked out of the FA Cup. Look at
exactly.
Look at United.
That's a shame. But we've done it before, haven't we? We've turned up with a team that was like, that we shouldn't. We've all gone, why have you played that for? And we've gone out. So it's great. I mean, yes, okay, it was Pompey, and we are waxing lyrical about players that don't. But we're waxing lyrical about players that aren't in the 11 every week. That's the one thing I'd say about. We're talking about the likes of somehow. Ben White's not in the 11 every week. Manwary's not in the 11. Those players that deserve an opportunity to go and show what they can do. And in the circumstances, they played well. And it's no question that come next Premier League game, or even potentially Wednesday night, we know which 11 we're going to see.
Yes. 71 minutes in, another set piece. Martinelli gets us, as we said already, his first ever hat trick. I was just delighted for the lad. He's last season, I think, me and you and some of the other lads questioned, saying, I think we just need to give him one more season. If not, he will be probably surplus to requirements and replaced by a better model. But this season, him rotating again, we talked about squad and rotation, him rotating with Trossard, and he's got the full game this game. I was really pleased with him. It's got to be really good for his confidence.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And again, he's basically turned out to us all when we were all saying maybe he's got one more season and gone, really? You think I have? Because, I mean, from what I've seen of him this year, he's looked superb. He's getting the ball, he's driving into the areas, and I forget which game it was where we were really, really struggling, and he came on with about 20 minutes to go, and we scored 3 goals, and all came from that side.
Yeah.
whether it was Champions League or not, which game it was, but he just changed the game, and he has that effect of being able to change a game, really quickly just by doing what he does. And he's, I think he showed Thursday night, okay, and not want to dwell on it and the circumstances too much, how much he actually does want to win and how much he wants to do it. And I was really chuffed for him. And I actually didn't realise that was his first senior hat trick. I think it's for Arsenal, his first senior hat trick.
First Arsenal hat trick, yes. First Arsenal.
Yeah. And it's again, he deserves, he's the guy that comes on that we turn to when we need that extra, attacking force down the wings.
You mentioned Thursday night and the hurrah that was in the media about Gabriel trying to hold Conor Bradley off the pitch after he had put himself on the pitch, and he's now out for the rest of the season. Wish him well, but I think he might have even harmed himself a little bit further. But Martinelli getting the grief that he did, and he got booed a lot. There was one point. There was an injury. I think I spoke to you earlier today, and I don't know if you heard it on the on the TV. But I don't know who the Portsmouth player was. He was subbed off afterwards, but he got injured and he's off the pitch, well off the pitch near the dugout.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And the whole crowd were going, Gabbie, throw him on. Gabbie, throw him on. Gabbie, throw him on. And then I think Sam Howe would come along. Gabbie's going to get ya. That's football. That's football. That's the way it should be. You laugh things off and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Look, I mean, it was. I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on it too much with it. I mean, Thursday night. I don't think if he knew the extent of what was happening, he wouldn't have done what he did. But I think in the heat of the moment, and let's take into consideration what happened earlier in the game. Frimpong was down for God knows how long, and then the minute the whistle goes, he jumps back up. McAllister had his moment, and they did everything they could to try and stall us for a bit and slow that game down. So, the tensions were a bit high. But
yeah, I think Frimpong, in fairness, did roll his ankle. That's what the guys were saying when we're on the train on the way down. Because as you do, you know what it's like on the 2 hours on the train with beers. We go through it all. It's just like chatting through. So he did roll his ankle, but I don't know if it was as bad as it was. But fair play to him. He's got his 90 minutes. Well, how did you see that on Thursday night? Because you were at the game and you've got a slightly different angle. But did you think that Conor Bradley was putting himself back on the pitch to time waste, or did you see him as he's injured and Martinelli was out of order?
I saw him sort of like go down, roll, and then sort of roll back the other way, and then Martinelli sort of. Yeah, I don't think Martinelli deliberately tried to to push him off the pitch. I just think he just wanted to get the game going. It was what sort of 4 or 5 minutes to go. It's just after the 90th minute, wasn't it? And we've just built that little bit head of steam up where we were actually looking quite threatening, and then all of a sudden, we've lost that momentum. And I think they did tactically, they did that well on Thursday night. I was talking to Will about it on the train on the way back, and he was saying, he said, he wasn't there, but he said, you guys need to watch that game back because it's tactically masterclass for both teams. And I think that's what sort of pushed it out, pushed everybody on. But it's if he did realise he was off the pitch, I would say he's either not realised he's there or pushed himself back on. But it's everybody does it these days, and I think that's where we are with the game. It's just try and stop us. It's a tactic to try and stop and delay the game.
Arnie comes along and says he's got the most cup games for us, Real and Bayern. I don't know what cup goals for us. I don't know what the stat is, but I'm sure Arnie knows what he means on there. So another goal, as I said, from a set piece. And the next substitution we done which was just before that, was Arsenal's youngest FA Cup player, age 16. Christ, this fella's 16. 16 and 135 days.
Wow.
It's young Salmon. He was really strong, really good. Looks a beast of a fella. Look at him standing there beside Arteta.
He's not 60. He's never 60. Look at the size. He's huge. Jesus.
Is that his height? Is that his height on his short? 8'9".
Yeah. Oh, he's massive, isn't he? Big lad. But that's the second time we've seen him this year, isn't it? As well.
It is.
So we're coming on. So, but he just slotted into that centre back position. Like, I mean, again, we're going back to what Manweri said about I'm learning more being at Arsenal. Wow, he's learning against the two best centre backs in the world. That partnership.
Interesting when he came on, it looked, from my view, like we switched to a back three. Okay, we're 4-1 up, or 3-1 going
Okay.
4-1 up. Looked like we switched into a back three, or at least Miles Lewis-Skelly wasn't sitting in the left back position so much, and he had pushed into the midfield.
Where he goes anyway.
When he goes anyway. Now, Miles Lewis-Skelly, for me, the last few games against Liverpool, I thought he was the weak link because I thought he was exposed. Frimpong exposed them on that side with his speed and his pace. And because he seems to vacate the defensive position to drift into like that Zinchenko pocket of inverted left back. But his natural position is a number 6. He's naturally a number 6. What do we do with Miles Lewis-Skelly in this going forward? Can you see somebody coming in at some point and allowing him then to be the squad rotation player? Norgard moves on, and then it's him and Zubamendi.
I don't know what we do with him, if I'm honest, because when he came on Thursday, and I turned and I said to the guys behind me, and I said to Elijah, I said, I'm worried. He says that Frimpong's way too quick to go against Skelly. And I said, let's give it 5 minutes. I said, and he'll drift inside and Frimpong will go flying down the right-hand side. It took about 30 seconds. And I just thought, God, this is where they're going to get us. And he kind of, again, and he's got, for me, Skelly needs to go back to where he, try and refine some of that, what he had before. Because he was always, he'd win a tackle. He'd get himself, throw himself in, he'd win the ball back, he'd pass. I just feel now he's got a reckless challenge in him, or he's got a mistake in him. And I don't want to be, slating or any Arsenal player into it, but he just seems to have lost that sort of that bite that he had sort of last year. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but when Where he played us in the centre, I think it was the end of the first half, when Where he played the ball from centre over to the left, and the ball rolled out of play right in front of Arteta, and Skelly looked like he gave up on it. The camera went straight to Arteta, and he absolutely tore into him. And you could see, it's like he was like, "I want," you could see him saying, "I want more. You need to give me more." And and it's just, I think that's probably, is he going to get? My worry is he's going to be given opportunity, and then all of a sudden is Arteta going to go, right? You're not doing it for me. I'll look at something else, which I think will be, a real shame, because he can do it, but I can see why Calafiori has got that space solid in the back.
Yeah, Ron, I think is probably in agreement with Azazani. Lewis-Skelly is regressing as a fullback. I only hope that they have to have him in midfield. Arnie comes along and says he's a number 6. And Demsek makes a comment, let's say a centre-back signed MLS can go into the midfield. Hincapié and Calais as left back. If Gahey signed...
that's gathering a bit more pace, isn't it? That really,
it is, but what? I don't think that might happen in January. I think that could happen in the summer, because he could sign for free and then get big wages and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have to go quick on that, because I think someone will probably snap him up while he is free before he can do it. But I don't know where he's going to fit in that team. I think it's an interesting one to be done, but you're not going to come in, are you? He's playing every week, and England starting 11 to sitting at the potentially not starting every week for Arsenal. It's gathering pace. Personally, I can't see it happening, but
I just don't, as you say, I don't see it happening unless we change the way we play and we go to a 3 at the back and that sort of stuff.
Why would we? Sitting where we are now, let's go. Let's stay where we are. But
somebody made a comment. It was here we go. Gental 1969. I can't wait till he scores so we can sing "Leap Like a Salmon." We were singing it. We were singing "He leaps like a salmon." Yeah, so that was being sung already. So yeah, it's there and ready. It got a little bit of a practice yesterday. 2 people I want to talk about in particular about the game. Mikel Merino and his first, I think it's his first. Well, he definitely was captain yesterday, and his performance. And I also want to talk about the cameo we had from Kai Havertz after being just over a year. I think it's about a year out, almost to the day since he got injured. He came back on, and he was bright. He was hungry. He was really unlucky that the keeper just got something to it when that final kick of the game. What did you make of Kai Havertz's performance, and how good was it to see him back?
Absolutely. I love Kai. I think Kai's brilliant. He offers us so much more. We miss his pressing. The guy doesn't give up, does he? I mean, we've said this many times before. I mean, when we've had certain comments when he wasn't scoring. But it's what he does off the ball. He presses people. He wins us the ball back. He gets us higher up the pitch as quick as possible. But I agree with you. He looked so bright, and he just looked like he was. He just looked like he was so glad to be back on the pitch. And he's going to start pressing. He's going to start pushing, Gyökeres, because And is this going to be the kick up the backside that Gyökeres needs to, to kind of push on? But I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
And I'm going to put you on the screen on your own for a second. I want you to talk about.
I didn't even need to read the chat. I knew what you were writing. I was thinking he's going to do it to me again.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's that time. I got a bit early. Talk to me about Mikel Mourinho and his captain's like performance. I thought he was outstanding.
Oh, he was outstanding. Yeah, no, absolutely. He was, he looked like very settled in that midfield. He won tackles. He just controlled the midfield, which is really, really, really what we needed. And he just looked, he looked very settled. And he didn't look. I know. Again, let's look at the opposition we were playing. We were playing Portsmouth, so we need to kind of, read into that a little bit. But he just looked solid. He didn't look like he was phased by anything. And sort of bringing in, he had a lot of young players around him again who would be looking for, to him for leadership. And I think he did that really, really well. Great to see him get the captain's armband. I think everything he's done for us last year, playing in the wannabe striker role, thrown in at the last minute, he did absolutely everything. He has run. He's gone for a toilet break. He's left me on my own. He hasn't given me much time to even think about it. Oh, he's back. Here we go.
I was just trying to sort something out.
Trying to sort something out. Something was sorted out.
Do you think the key with Mourinho, that Zubimendi's on the pitch with him as well, and because of their relationship, they had Real Betis, was it, and in the Spanish national team, Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
And the Spanish national team has a big influence.
Oh yeah, massively. They're so used to playing with each other, and that makes a massive difference. I mean, you look when Ben White was playing for England and with Saka, that relationship was really strong. But he's one of those players you could turn around to him and say, Miko, look, we've got 2 injured goalkeepers. You go in goal. Yeah, go on then. He'll play anywhere. That guy. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's such a good signing for us and he's an Arsenal player. Is he? Arsenal player. What I mean by that is Arsenal. He wants to be there, and he loves wearing that badge on his chest.
Ian, just leave it. All right.
It's got a point. So,
right, it's splash and dash. That's just aftershave, So let's have a look. Man of the match then. Who's your man of the match? It's got to be Gabriel, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be. How can you not? Scored a hat trick, and I think
Gabriel Martinelli. I mean by Gabriel. Yeah,
I know who you meant. Yeah. You've got to give it. Yeah, you've got to. I think he played really, really well. I think with everything that he's go back. The grief he's had over the weekend. He's come back and he's basically told everybody what he can do and where he is. And again, even those 3 goals that he scored, they're well taken goals and they're cracking set pieces. So I don't care if it was Pompey. I don't care if it was City. I still think he'd have. If they were on a plate, he'd have put them away. So yeah, well deserved.
Loving the comments. There's not a bottle big enough.
He's going to need something.
Yeah, I'm going to need something. Right, let's have a look.
This show's going to start getting sponsored by Tenner.
Yeah, well, actually, good timing. You have actually just hit it on the nail. This show is sponsored by Complete Nutrition. These are in the process of getting set up. They're a new start UK business for all your supplements and nutritional items. If you go to their Instagram and their Facebook and so on, you can see what they will be offering. I think they're going to be on sale soon. And if you use the code Gunner10, you get. I use the code Gunner, you get 10% off. So yeah, there we go. Complete Nutrition. Yeah, so it's not sponsored by Tenner. There we go.
Not yet. Where we long?
Could get quite a bit of money from them, couldn't we? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You could. Yeah.
So we touched on the 4th round. Spurs and United are both out.
Obviously,
Spurs being our arch rivals makes us laugh, but also United being my brother's team, it was a little bit of a giggle. I was pleased about that. In other news, we hear today that Per Mertesacker is leaving as the academy manager. What's your thoughts on Per Mertesacker, academy manager?
Well, I didn't know until this afternoon to see when you mentioned that he was going, but I'm a bit surprised. Do we know where he's going to? I'm not sure. I've not seen it.
I didn't
No.
read the article.
I think it's just again, it's you kind of cut your cloth, don't you? Sort of doing what they're doing, and I think you move on. Just let's be honest, there's nowhere for him to go within the Arsenal sort of starting 11 sort of coaching staff at the moment. So there's an opportunity for him. Then go for it. And if our big Germans, it moves on, and no doubt, he'll go back, learn something, and come back again potentially. So fair play to him. But it's a good job we've got another big German to replace him with, isn't it, Andre?
Yeah, get Andre in.
Get Andre in.
Yeah, the academy team can learn how to print stickers and stuff like that. That would be absolutely brilliant.
How to bang on a bin, get a song going.
Yeah, there's another bit of rumor, and I don't know how true it is, but there was talk of Ben White possibly going to Everton. Everton were sniffing after Ben White, but if the Gabbie thing came off, maybe
potentially
these things work. Maybe his agents work and stuff. Who knows? I honestly, Ronnie, I know as much as you know on that. You actually, Ronnie, you might even know more. So yeah,
my only thing to that is sort of when you look at what we're competing into at the moment in this year, when you think we're on all four fronts, we're there. Would you really want to jump ship at this point? It's football's a squad game. He's done his part and he's done his bits in the games that we've played in Champions League, Premier League games. He's going to have the cup runs, so he's going to get games, and he's got potential to win some silverware this year, or he will win some silverware this year, should I say? So, why not?
Yeah, whilst the show is sponsored by Complete Nutrition, we also are strong advocates and supporters of Andy's Man Club. Every time on the show, we put up this "It's Okay to Talk," and Andy's Man Club is a man's suicide prevention organisation. It's a charity set up to try and prevent men from taking their own lives. Named after a guy called Andy, who sadly did take his life a few years back, but it's not there just for people who are at the end. It's there for people at the beginning of their storm. So if you're feeling down, feeling like you need some help, go to andysmanclub.co.uk, look up, put your postcode in, look up and get your local meeting. It will mean you'll miss me and miss Andy and miss Trevor and everybody else who's on the show, because 7 to 9 on a Monday night, go and have a biscuit and a cup of coffee with the guys from Andy's Man Club. So yeah. You
don't even need to say anything, do you? You just need to. I mean, we've from experience have been known the people that have been. They've been just had a social chat, and they found it's done it the world of good. And the chap from Andy's Man Club who came on with us now, and he said to us, didn't he? He said, if you just want to sit there and just don't listen, just don't do anything. He said, just come and be with us. So absolutely, if anybody is there, we're highly recommended.
Comment here from Gary. Great thing about Per was he's quite humble, but it's very. You know what? I think for me, I think having an Arsenal man, and when we had Jack Wilshere looking after the under-18s as well, having somebody who's played for the club, understanding the culture of the club, like the manager who's played for the club, I think it's really important. And I'd like to see somebody like that replace Per. Is there anybody you can think that springs to mind?
Isn't Aaron Ramsey sort of doing some sort of coaching stuff now? I'd love to see him come through, because I think he's another Arsenal player that I really, really like. Who I think could do something within the club. But you've got people like, I don't know if Manny Petit, Patrick Vieira. I know Vieira.
Well, Vieira's beyond an academy side of things. Petit is doing a lot of media stuff and so on. And to be honest, hearing him sometimes on Talk Sport, I'm not.
That's a good shout.
It's a huge shout.
That's a great shout.
That would be fantastic. We could Santi Cazorla back. The guy's work ethic, Spanish as well, works really well with Arteta. That would be amazing. And he has been back and around the club. Oh, are we thinking too much into it? 313 people.
I do agree with you though. It would, to keep the dynamics and the DNA of the club together, it is good to have somebody in, to actually to build on the academy. And you look how strong our academy is, and the players we've brought through. Dalman, Salman, other players have gone. Jimmy Garry's moved on, but those players have really come through, and they've got the Arsenal DNA, and it's massively important to have the academy playing like the first team.
Yeah, no, for sure. 14 people watching the show right now. If you'd like to go and click on that QR code or photograph that QR code, you can see us, our YouTube page, and you can like, follow, subscribe. We really would like you to go on there. We're nearly 1,500. We'd love to get 1,500 by the end of the month as subscribers. We're not in this to be millionaires. We just want to cover our costs, and we don't even do that at the minute. So if you could, it would really, really help. Thank you very much. Next up, we are out on Wednesday, and it's Wednesday for the League Cup, and it's the first leg of the semi-final. We play Chelsea. What's your thoughts on this? What team are you putting out? Bear in mind, we got Forest on Saturday evening. I think we go as strong as we can, because it's just like Saturday Champions League, Champions League, Champions League, and just go as strong as we can.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely. I mean, again, it's another trophy, isn't it? It's that springboard into bigger and better things, isn't it? If we win this in February, then we go on. You've got that. You just keep building into Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup. So yeah, why not? I think we need to go out and have a and put a strong team out and go and win it. It's massively important. You could tinker a little bit, maybe. Again, you could rest Timber and put Ben White in, or I don't know how far's Calafiori from being back. Is he even close, or we know?
He's not been on the bench yet, so I wouldn't have thought he's anywhere near yet. Because if they're getting on the bench, then you're thinking, right, they might get 20 minutes like Havertz did at the weekend.
He might start.
Yeah, start.
That'd be a good shout.
Mm-hmm. Could we change up the formation, because everyone was talking about they'd like to see Gyökeres with maybe as a part of a two with Gyökeres and Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that Thursday night was good when he took Gyökeres off for Jesus. I'd love to see the two of them up top together, because I think Jesus's movement, would just, and he plays. The thing with Gyökeres, I think, look at him, is I think he wants the ball to his feet. He wants the ball to his feet so he can turn the defender and he can go. He wants the ball over the top so he can spin and go. And I think we need to try and maybe play into his strengths a little bit more. Maybe we don't 100% do that quite yet. I still firmly believe he's going to come good for us. I'm going to go down a little bit, because I said he'd score 20 goals this season. I'm going to drop that down to 15. So we'll give him a bit of an opportunity, because I don't think he'll get 20, but he's certainly got, he's I'd love to see him or even saying that Kai's work rate up front again, with Gyökeres would be great, but it'd be a good shout.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah. Back at the back, who are you putting at the back? You start with Timber at the back.
If Timber's fit, yes. I think you go. I think you go on normal back four. There you go, Timber. I think you go Sleeper. You go Gabriel and Capier. Don't know if Capier's injured, isn't he? He's not going to be there.
Depends if he's depends if he's fit or not, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, so potentially you can have Lewis Skelly down on the left hand side. So, but yeah, no, I think we need to go strong. We need to make a statement, and I think just to show a lot of people, we'll go and win this and march on.
Yeah, and that's pot number one if we can get it in the bag. And I know Sophie Nicolau from the Highbury squad has been adamant all the time about this, that the key to kicking on, winning the league, winning the Champions League, winning the bigger trophies is as how it started for George Graham, is winning the League Cup. Yeah,
absolutely. No, I completely agree. It's that winning mentality, isn't it? And it's the hardest. I mean, we were talking again on, going back, and Dale and I were talking on the train on going back Thursday night. Every team is going to come to the Emirates and is going to want to beat us. Even more so now the fact we're top of the league. And I think it's the hardest thing to get a trophy, to get the Premier League over the line when you've not won it for a while. Is that for your reason, because everybody's going to go out to beat you. And it's this year we need to make sure that we do it, and this can be the perfect start.
I'm run behind on a few comments on here. So basically, I think everybody is saying it's going to be a really tough game. Chelsea will put a first team out. But it's really interesting as well that Matt says here, will the Chelsea coach have time to implement his formation, or will he have to persist with Maresca's formation?
Well,
runs.
Rossini's already he started in the FA Cup, didn't he? So he's had one game under his belt already. I can't remember who they played over the weekend, but he's an inexperienced coach who's got something to go out and prove. So if you're gonna put out a big squad, you're gonna put out a strong team, in my opinion, because you're not, what sort of statement does that set to the fans where your first game at Stamford Bridge, you go and put a weak team out? So it's gonna be, but I think Wednesday will be a battle. I think it will be a battle, but it might be one that we need.
Yeah, we've got about 4,000 Arsenal fans that are going to be there, so it is going to be noisy. I know some of us meeting up around Earl's Court beforehand. On Calafiori, according to reports, Cali should be back with us on the 14th. So what's that? That is Wednesday, isn't it?
Would you risk
interesting.
Would you actually? The thing is though, because let's say now we're going to Forest on Saturday night, and that's not an easy place to go.
It's not. Well, as we've gone up there for the last few times, it's noisy. It's intimidating for such a small ground. They make more noise than 60,000 can in the Emirates, and they got 26 or 29,000.
I have to go into hiding every time we go there because it's just like it's not worth it around here. I just I get battered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If he's fit and ready for a game, I'd probably put him on the bench. If I'm honest.
Okay. I mean, you should think again. It comes out that we don't know. You'd either give him the hour, wouldn't you, or you'd stop him on the bench and give him the last half an hour. But one way or the other, I want him back. I can't wait for him to be back.
Yeah, to be honest, I was unsure of my points last season, but he's now settled in and he's really got a run of games, and he is our best left back option.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to run through, mate? I can't think of anything. No, we've ran on our list.
It's come up. It has come up in the chat a little bit though. So let's get the opinions are. You've mentioned it before. We've now got a fit front three. Yeah, you've got Jesus, you got Havertz, and we've got Gyökeres. Where do we go? Who do we start? What do we do? Because I think Jesus has looked absolutely brilliant coming on. He's looked lively. He scored a couple of goals. But now we've got Havertz, who again, we're judging by 20 minutes against Pompey, but he looked well up for it. What do we do? Because do you leave your star man on the bench or?
See, it's really difficult. What do you do with Gyökeres? Because I think playing him is the only way he's going to get into a rhythm. The more we play with him in the team, I think the better chance we have getting the click. His first touch is questionable. Dan can't rate his first touch at all. Jesus, I think, is a great impact sub. I think he's brilliant when he comes on as a sub. His pace is electric, as you say. And when a bit like when we bring Martinelli on, I'd always just bring Martinelli and Jesus on just to frighten the life out of defenses for the last 25 minutes. So by the method of elimination on that, if he's fit and ready and you want to give him more minutes after his year out, I'd be starting Kai Havertz because he can hold up the ball just as probably better than Gyökeres, and his finishing is currently better than Gyökeres with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. You start Havertz as well against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and he goes and puts the first goal away. That's going to be that's going to be a good statement away, and that's going to get everybody going again as well. It's I do agree with you. I think the only way Gyökeres is going to get better is by playing. I don't know what they're missing. Dan's right. His first touch does let him down sometimes, and I've said it before. Theo said to me that they've clocked it. He's got half a second less on the ball than he did have in that league. So he's got a few things to learn, but I still do think he'll come good. But at the moment, we need to make sure we get some trophies over the line.
Well, this is what Arteta gets paid the big money for. As Simon says, drop Gyökeres and you hit his confidence, but he just doesn't warrant a start at present. So yeah.
Do you bring him on for half an hour and let him sort of get a couple from that way, and then it's tough, isn't it? That's why we're not paid the big money to do it, to try and make these big decisions. You say.
Well, it's interesting that many people have observed when he started and he does all the donkey work up front, and unfortunately doesn't get the goals that he's worked for. When he goes off, we drop deep and the pressure comes on us. So I don't know. Do we do try something different? It has been said before in one of the haters news clips that Arteta was asked about would they play Jesus and Gyökeres together in it too, and he said it is something interesting and something that they're looking at and they're playing around with in training. Whether they actually go out with a 4-4-2, I don't know. When's the last time we played a 4-4-2? Probably twice in the last 3 seasons.
I don't think I can remember he's played a 4-4-2. Crikey, no, never.
Mm.
You watch him go and do it Wednesday night now.
Yeah, he will do. He will do. He will do.
He's listening.
Right, mate. That's it, I think, for us. Thank you, as always, for joining in.
No
if people have enjoyed us, please go over to, as I said before, click on that QR code, and you can see our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe it. We've got 333 of you watching right now. We are an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. We're not here for clickbaiting. We're not here to shout, scream. We're not here to be super positive or toxic positivity either. We're here to try and have a fan's view and have a chat like we're sitting down the pub, like we sat in the train chatting the exact same way yesterday on the train. We had very similar conversations. So if you like what we do, go over to YouTube and subscribe. I'm going to hit that button. There we go. I do love that song. I do love, and that's my. And I said it to Dan. I was talking to him on Thursday, and I said to him, if you're speaking, because he's well connected within the club, I said if you're to do with atmosphere and stuff, if you're speaking to him, especially on a big game like that Liverpool game and big games at the stadium, start off the song, then turn the song off and let the fans fill the place with. Yeah, we don't need a big speaker system. Just start people off, get them going. And
it forgoes itself, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, fair play to Dan. To give the bit he's done worked wonders, building the atmosphere up. And I know he's got a lot more things planned, but it's. I definitely agree with you. That song to get going with is just superb. Love it.
Yeah. Andrew, speak to you soon. Thanks a lot, mate.
Cheers, Ferg. I'll see you soon.
Up the arse. Fuck Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.
Andrew, it's just come up in the WhatsApp group. Wigan defender is Jamie Carragher's son plays for Wigan, so we may.
Does he really?
We may have a song or two for him. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we will have a song or two for him. I think you guarantee we're going to be on Sky now as well.
Yeah. Hello, Theo. You're still live on the show.
Yeah.
We're
still live, mate. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Everybody say hello to Theo.
Say hello, Theo. Let's put Theo on the big screen.
Let's put Theo on the big screen.
Theo. He's gone. Right, mate. That's it. Yeah, Carragher's going to get grief. Up the arse.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Definitely.